Hey Raz, how's it going? Which kit you working on? Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Raccoon? Time for a new blow dryer. She's doing better. She's out of rehab back home, doing better, walking around. So it's another chapter done for a while, I hope. A lot of things are going to change this year. Probably going to start looking at maybe an apartment or sell the house or something. Get my parents into a better living situation, so it's pretty much where I'm at. So it's gonna be kind of a long year, but it's got to be done. Yeah, that's the only issue. There's tons and tons of assisted living places, but there's not many low-income places. And a lot of the senior apartments they're not really a lot. So the assisted living in New Jersey, you can't get in them unless you have shitloads of money or you're on Medicaid. So it's kind of like a lesson learned if I'm going to retire when I get older, get the hell out of this state. There's no way in hell you can like survive in New Jersey unless you got a lot of money. So But I mean, out of Jersey, you know, in other states, you can, you know, you can live comfortable. But my parents aren't moving out of this state because of family. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I think an assistant, depending on how much assistant living you need, even like just like if you're sort of free and you can do your own thing, it's still like $5 grand a month or something. I think it's an insane amount of money. So I don't know. My goal is I get to that certain age and either I'm not doing statue work anymore or I'm too old to do it. Just sell the house, move down to some senior place down south somewhere, Texas, Tennessee, Florida, and just work at Walmart. That's kind of it. That's the goal. That's even if you're allowed to work at Walmart. Everything might be automated by then. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Raphael? Yeah, I figure Tennessee's kind of booming now, so maybe by the time I'm ready to retire or whatever, maybe it's be a good position to get into. We'll see. We shall see. Gotta do something, you know? Hey Butterfly. Yeah, I wanted to work on this and stream it at the same time, but I had a lot of stuff going on. But now that I'm kind of back to work, figure it's a nice day out. Got the windows open. I figure I'd get this painted up. Finished up a lot of smaller stuff. Finished up the Scarlet Witch. So kind of getting back on track. Trying. Yeah, this kit is pretty good. It's just huge. This thing is massive. Still trying to wrap my head around all the parts. I did a lot of the chrome stuff, but I'm waiting for some metallic paints to come in. Once the metallic paints come in, I can actually kind of start getting back on the main body. I was hoping to get the main body done first, but the metallics didn't come in. Hopefully I'll get them Monday. That's what I've been haven't done in a while. What I wanted to do was my spring cleaning. I still haven't done it yet. I envy you. My floor and studio's a mess. I try to get it done every spring, but didn't work out this year so far. Maybe I could get it done in a month or so. It's gonna end up being a fall cleaning thing. Hey, how's it going, Iceman? Working myself, getting back on track. Didn't have time to clean my airbrushes. Something I gotta do someday. Get back on this other stuff. Haven't had a chance to really sit down and watch the videos on the new Superman casting. Just pretty much getting back into the groove of just working. Long story short, my mother was in the hospital again. She just got out of rehab last week, so I've been kind of just out of it. A lot of other stuff was going on. Car problems, the house AC, my parents, just kind of just came all to a head. So finally I'm getting back on track. Slowly I'm catching up, but it's kind of funny these days. If you're gone a week, you miss everything going on in the world. So but from what I remember about James Gunn is, like, everyone shit on the Flash movie, which I didn't see yet, but I keep telling everybody the Flash movie was done under AT&T. It wasn't done under Discovery. So James Gunn did what he could, and he's going to reboot it all. So I'm giving it a chance, you know. Like, there's all these people like, oh, DC's done, it's over. Well, you haven't even given it a chance yet, you know. So we'll see how it works out. Yeah, but a lot of people, I think, seem to forget if Henry Cavill stays as Superman and they do it another couple years, he's going to get really older looking, you know? And I can understand why maybe James Gunn wants to get a younger guy and have him run through Superman for, like, the next, 8-10 years. I would blame AT&T for screwing up Henry Cavill as Superman. You know, they could have done it correctly like Marvel, but they didn't. So it's not Discovery or Gunn's fault, it's AT&T that screwed it up. So if they didn't screw up the movies and they did it right, we could have had some amazing Henry Cavill stuff, but they screwed everything up. And I mean, look what happened with Robert Downey Jr. when he was Iron Man. He was fairly young looking, but now if he's playing Iron Man, he's really older looking now, so it's kind of hard to run with him, That's just how I see it. Hollywood, they're trying to think of long term, you can't. If anything, they should bring Henry Cavill back, like, as Kingdom Come Superman or something, Like, if they do an Elseworld something, that would be awesome. Like an older Superman or an Earth 2 Superman or something. That would be cool. So they got ways of bringing him back that could work with the new, movies. So we'll see how it works out. We live in a world now where everybody wants instant gratification, and people forget that, to make good quality stuff takes some time. So if they got to find a new actor and they got to rewrite everything, then so be it. But trying to keep everything the way it was, the way AT&T screwed up the whole entire DC universe, it's just not worth it. They didn't know what they were doing. They really had no clue what they were doing. They were just giving, like, scripts and characters to random people who had no idea of the character. They had no idea of the storyline. It was like fan fiction shit almost. So that's how I saw it. I mean, we'll go back to Ezra Miller as Flash. The way they wrote him, the way he acted was a Wally West, not a Barry Allen. That is not a Barry Allen Flash. So AT&T did not know what the hell they were doing. Hey Brandon, how's it going? Yeah, you too, man. It's a fun weekend. Long weekend, but fun. Yeah, I went to the con on Sunday. I got there early. I was only there for about maybe 3 hours, and then I left. I only went there to get to see Scott Hanna, to have him sign me a Cable Nate Gray X-Men book. And then I saw Lee Weeks to sign the 2 Power Girl books. Other than that, I walked around the show, I looked at a bunch of vendors, and it was the same Amazing Spider-Man 300 stuff, you know, X-Men key books. It's all the influencer stuff on YouTube that they're selling. So there really wasn't much there for me, so I left. I'm waiting for Terrific Con and Baltimore Con where I want to see other artists, so I didn't really want to spend much money either. And for those who don't know, one of my friends on that's in the Facebook statue groups, he holds like a barbecue almost every year. So he had like a whole bunch of people from the statue community go. Pretty cool. I meet a lot of new people because I don't know anybody because I'm not on Facebook. So. Yeah, I'm sick of the influencers of saying that these are the key books to get every week, you know? Like, a lot of these books were in dollar bins for like 20 years, and all of a sudden now they're key books. It cracks me up. It's all because the influencers on YouTube are like, this is the hot new book, you gotta get it, and everyone runs out to get it, which I don't get. I mean, I collect what I like, and that's about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll buy stuff once in a while to flip, but I use that money to pay for what I want. Last year the show was amazing because there was a lot of books that this one guy had graded and stuff, because I'm only looking for key graded stuff that I love, and he had them all, and it was amazing deals. But this year all the guys selling like graded books in the bins that were like cheap, or just books that were like crap. Like, why would you even get that book graded? So sometimes I don't know what these guys are doing, but whatever. Hey, what's up, JC? Yeah, what's it called? So, this book, that graded book there, last year at the New Jersey Con, this was in like the, this guy had a bunch of bins of graded stuff, and that was in there for 150 bucks. And I talked him down to 130, which was like, it's amazing. It's a signed book, first appearance of Power Girl, it was unreal. But this year, like all the cheap the graded book bins, just as, you know, because I like to find stuff for display, and it was just all crap, so whatever. JC, I haven't been streaming much. Had a lot of family stuff going on. It's been a while since I streamed, but trying to get back there. I grade some of the new stuff if it's for display purposes, only because if it's the cover I love. But I'm building my actually, now that we're on the subject almost, I'm actually getting all my rest of my cases in on tomorrow. I think they're coming in. So hopefully this weekend I could finish building up my display room, and then maybe in a week or two I can do my video of showing off my display room. I gotta get some more racks so I could display some of the CG stuff on the wall. I came up with a different idea, so it's getting there slowly. But it took a while for them to come in, but I'm happy it's finally here. I can actually pull out a lot of my statues that are still in boxes too. Yeah, it's it's funny, as I built half the display room and the TV room, and then the other half is kind of just like a mess, and it's been driving me nuts for the past 4 months, but finally I can get my ass together and get that stuff done. And then after that I can organize all the boxes in the house, get all the statues out, and then I can start cleaning up the studio. I didn't want to clean up the studio and then try to get all my boxes in here, because then it would have been just more of a mess. Yeah, I thought long and hard about my display room, and then after I did all my pricing of building my own cases or having someone build them, and or try to do something else, I just went with the module cases. But I got a whole videos on how to put them together. I'm gonna put a video together of the corner pieces, so I got a lot to do still. So at least I'll get some more videos up on that stuff. Yeah, they are pricey, but honestly, after, like I said, after I did all my pricing out and what I really liked and stuff, it was the best choice. I figured, I'm saving all this money. At least I'm trying to save money. But every time you save, it goes out the door, so I said, screw it. You only live once. I want a nice man cave. Tired of not being able to look at the stuff. There's no sense of building my own customs and characters I love if I can't look at them. That's because I just, I got a small house and better make it look right. Yeah, the thing is, I like seeing other people's build-ups, you know. I like to see what people come up with. I mean, I've seen some people do some crazy stuff where they build their own wood displays, which look amazing, which I would have done, but I don't have the tools for it and the time. That's the other problem. And then the other thing, too, is I know a lot of guys, they build it in, like, they build the work thing in their TV room. So if you ever sell the house, you either got to rip it out or you sell the house with it, you know. I wanted something that if I ever move, I could take with me. That's kind of my other thought process. I figured, or if I move, I could probably sell the module cases and just make a little bit of money back, you know? So I was just thinking of different options for me. JC, going with 8-track tapes too? If you're gonna go old school, might as well bring it that far. Hey, what's up, Hangerbird? Alright, let's... Well, 80s is a good era, so that's fine. Uh, I really never have hours on anything because I literally have so many projects at one time. So I never base anything off of hours. It's always the size of the project and how much work I think is involved. Because some days I'm painting, some days I'm sculpting, some days I'm cleaning, prepping, repairing. So I don't have any hours on anything, so I couldn't really tell you. One of the other things too is I don't like to think about how many hours it takes to do something. I'd rather just work on it and just kind of not worry about how long. Just kind of get in the zone, play music, listen to YouTube, and just work. I think when you focus too much on hours and how much a thing takes, it kind of, for me, it doesn't help. This is just a mix of mahogany from Vallejo with a little bit of the red from Evil Sin Sun Scarlet from Citadel. And then the idea with this one is we're going to make him look a little bit dirty and beat up. Maybe make the character a little dirty around the feet and arms a bit. So I'm not trying to make this like super clean, as you can see. So I'm going to do some dry brushing on the reds to kind of bring out some detail. Yeah, we're not trying to make this like a super clean looking item. It's a fight scene, so we're going to try to make it a little bit more battle damage and a little bit dirty. So not really like overthinking where I'm spraying right now, because some of it's going to get taken down. Yeah, he's more of a, if you look up Age of Apocalypse Colossus, he's pretty much just red and silver with a lot of red cloth and red armor. So I'm going to try and break up a lot of the reds so it's not just like one looking red item. Of course the airbrush is getting a little clogged. If it looks orange, it's my camera. I'm so bad with camera work, so it's red. I'm sure when I put it in the other camera, it'll probably look a little bit better. I'm bad with camera work, and I didn't really invest in super crazy cameras, so. long as it looks good to me in person, I'm doing it correct. That's all that counts for right now. Yeah, one of the things in my studio is my lights up on my ceiling. There's warm and cool. So it gives me the correct lighting in person, but it's very hard to get it correct in camera. Like, honestly, I don't do this for YouTube and to try to make it look like an amazing YouTube channel. I just kind of show what I'm doing. And as long as the client gets what they want, that's all that counts. But I'll kind of show my ceiling. It's kind of hard to see it though, but if you ever put lights in your studio, I'm going to try to turn the camera. Let me turn the camera down for a second. Hold on. Put this over here so I don't break it off. So my light's up there. So it's kind of hard to tell, but this right here is a warm light and this is a cool light. So this is warm and cool, and I did that all around the studio. So if you have warm and you have cool, it balances your light correctly in your studio when you're painting. Because if you have all warm lights, you get a red tint. If you have all cool lights, you get a blue tint. So it's good to balance them out in your studio so you get correct lighting. And the problem is my digital cameras. I just use consumer digital cameras, so they're only like, you know, what? They're like $500 camcorders. I'm sure if I bought one of those crazy elaborate, you know, $3,000, $4,000 cameras and I was to set it up, I could get better lighting, but I'm not about to do that. If my YouTube channel was like, you know, millions of subscribers and I was getting 10,000 views or more a video, it would be different, but Yeah, as of now, I'm pretty booked up for the year. I'm still so backlogged from the lockdowns. I still got a couple people waiting for stuff. I've had a rough few years, some stuff I really never made public too. But last year my mother was in the hospital. She was just in the hospital again. So yeah, if I can get through my stuff this year, by next year I should be back on track taking on new stuff. That's the goal. But just when you think you're ahead, something happens as always. I appreciate that. It's just, you know, we all get old, stuff happens, nothing we can do about it. Alright, where am I at here? Yeah, their teeth. They clip into the mouth of the. It's called. His name is Sugar Man, and that's the villain that Colossus is fighting. Um, so these are kind of like dentures, and you kind of just glue them in at the end. So all I'm really doing right now is like a wash on them, and I'm not overthinking it. I'm just kind of throwing the paint in there, and then I'll do another layer and just let it get into the crevices with like browns and reds. He's got yellowish teeth, so that's why I kind of kept it yellowish teeth. If you look up Marvel Sugar Man from Age of Apocalypse, you'll see what he looks like. He's just he's got like 4 arms and just like a giant head. So what I like to do is I like to paint it with an off-white, do the teeth, and then like wash color on the gums, so that yellowish color kind of is like the background and becomes like pinkish. And since he's a monster, you really don't have to, you know, make the teeth perfect. You know, if you have like a little bit of a drop on the teeth or it's a little bit of a stain, sometimes those accidents might make it look pretty cool. So try not to overthink it. And just kind of try to make it clean, but not, you know, too clean. You know, you don't want to give him superhero teeth. You want to kind of let the transparency just fall into these little crevices and just kind of like start drying up. But like in these areas, they're starting to, it's too thick in there, so you can kind of pull it back out. And then once it starts to like really thicken up between the teeth in these areas, you start getting that little darker area. I'll go in there with a better paintbrush to get in between the teeth too. But these Freak Flex Badger transparencies, they're actually really, really good, and I really like them a lot. They're kind of my they're kind of my new transparencies now, since Garage Kits is kind of done making paints. So it starts to build up. You know, I'm not gonna, this is too light of a color for his gums, so I'm gonna make him a little bit reddish. I'm not gonna make him bloody red, but that's why I put I mixed brown and red together. Well, this is a brown tint and then red tint, so you mix them together and you don't get like that perfect, like, you know, red or brown. Yeah, the Freak Flex, I guess, are still around, but they're hard to find because of the whole, you know, lockdowns. A lot of these companies still are not caught up. So I found a website that was selling these colors, the red and the browns, because I really like these 2 colors. And I bought up like, I think like 7 bottles just to have. After the lockdowns, I've learned that when there's something I love and it's really a good product, or it's a pair of shoes or whatever, just buy a couple of them. And so this way, because I know my luck, they're all going to get like discontinued, because there was a lot of paints that got discontinued. So, and they dry pretty fast. I mean, they're still a little tacky, but it dries fairly fast. It doesn't, you know, but they do clog up the airbrush. That's another thing. So you just got to kind of get used to them. Now there's gums in his what's it called, his the mouth on the base. So you just got to remember the colors I used for the for this, and I'll use those same colors in the inside of his mouth. I didn't really feel like pulling out the base. I want to paint up Colossus first, get him into the base, because I might have to do a little bit of tweaking with the keys on the feet. And then if the keys on the feet work, I'll paint up the base. It's always tricky with some of these items, because what it is Colossus is in all these parts. He's not one whole item. And I want to paint up the parts and then put them together, instead of putting them together then paint them. It's just one of those kits that are going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah, the mecha varnish does clog up your brush, but honestly, there's a lot of paints that do it anyway. So you just got to get used to being able to clean your brush up fairly fast. I was gonna clean it up this morning, but I got sidetracked, and then when I started painting, I realized I forgot to do it. So it's not the end of the world. I don't think there's any paint out there that's not going to clog your brush over time. You're always going to have to clean your brush. It's just a part of the process. But Vallejo does clog it up pretty well. That's a good thing about washes. If you screw up, you can kind of get in there and pull it back out if you're fast enough. Sometimes. You know, the other thing too is you can invest in a cheaper airbrush that sprays fairly thick, and you can use that for strictly, you know, black coats and varnish. I probably should start doing that soon, is get like in a couple extra airbrushes and use them for specific paints. Because it is a pain in the ass using your go-to airbrush to do detail work, and then you put varnish in there, and then you got to clean it all out again. So If I can get my ass back to work and get caught up, then I can invest in some other ones. I still like dual even if it's just for like one thing, only because I like to be able to control the pressure, you know, pulling it back and stuff. Just singles are okay, but I still like dual better. Yeah, it's also an investment. I understand. It's these things aren't cheap. Yeah, I wish I was. Took me a while to get all this supplies because it's expensive, you know. If I was a millionaire, I wouldn't be doing this for other people. I'd just be sitting here all day. We'd be seeing my stuff only all day long. That would be nice. I gotta do a run on paintbrushes though. Starting to dwindle down. One thing about this is there's not super detail because this is the top of the mouth. They don't really detail it up too much. The one brush I have, which is probably my go-to for it, but it still clogs it up, is my Revolution. It's kind of the same brush I use for all my thicker sprays, which I was just using before, except I need to buy a new one. This is the Revolution CR. Because I like it because it's got a big cup, it's dual action, and it's got a, I think this is 5 millimeter, what is there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 5. I think that's a, excuse me, I think that's a 5. I need to buy a new one, but I like that one the best for it. Alright, it's 5. Yeah, I would, I like that one for spraying fairly heavy, but it gives me control. It's not just like a super thick airbrush that just sprays heavy and you can't control it. At least you can control the flow a little bit on it. So that one I would suggest as a good, like, you know, brush just to kind of use for thicker stuff. But like I said, no matter what you use, it's going to clog up. Because it even clogs up that one big brush I have. This one. So the Mecha Varnish clogs this one up too, even though this is thicker. And I got to figure out how to clean this one. So... yeah, I mean, if you can find a Revolution one like I got, you know, I don't think they're really super expensive ones, so, you know, like, wait for, you know, sales, like holiday sales, like July 4th coming up, so you may be able to find a sale somewhere. A lot of the airbrush companies that I used to order from are, like, kind of gone, so it's kind of hard to find those airbrush sales anymore, but... you know, if you watch Amazon or something, I don't know. It's not like it used to be. I remember I used to wait for like Black Friday sales or Labor Day sales for parts. They don't have them anymore. And there was a guy on eBay that I used to order from that was located in California, and he used to give me deals, but they all stopped that too. So, you know, if you could find someone where if you order bulk, Yeah, I think so too. Used to be able to get some really good deals on stuff, and unless things really start getting back to normal, it's very hard to find stuff. I think so. I'll link it in chat right now. There was a company my friend ordered paints from, and I never tried their paints, but I ordered the red metallics, the water and the enamels from them. I'll get them next week, so it'll give me an idea if these are decent. Let me link it for you guys. Maybe you guys have used these, or maybe you've never heard of them, but. So I ordered red metallic or red pearl, the water-based one, and the enamel one for airbrush. So I'm going to try it with this Colossus kit and see how those reds are. Because I've been trying to find a good red metallic, like a really good red metallic out of the bottle. But a lot of the ones I get are always pink. And I don't want to do those candy coats on him. I want to do like a red metallic out of the body and make it weathered. So... But if you guys have tried that or you want to try it, go ahead. I don't know how good they are, but I should get my stuff in by maybe Monday. So I'll see how good they are. It's always worth trying a new company once in a while, see how it is. Yeah, I was looking at those alien glows, but I was like, what the hell would I ever use them for? That was the problem. The problem is I want to try paints, but I don't want to drop money on the stuff just to kind of, you know, I want to try to find projects to try them. There's no sense of buying paints if I'm never going to use them. So, it's kind of what I try to do with my projects. Yeah, I'm not into the glow-in-the-dark stuff, but I want to find, like, good paints for certain projects than to try to keep doing the same stuff over and over that's not working. Because like I said, some of the paints I used to use are long gone. So that's also a pain in the ass. Well, my friend said he used those paints in first outdoor project and he liked it, so we'll see how they work. If the Colossus looks good, then you know those paints worked out pretty well. Yes, I am volunteer. I try a lot of stuff, you know. Always trying new things. You never know if something's gonna work for a project coming down, and you're like, oh shit, I remember I tried this and it worked out pretty well, you know. Because there's a lot of guys in the hobby I know that are like, this is the best paint ever, but if I never tested it, I don't know how well it is, you know. Because we all kind of paint differently. So something that works for me won't work for other people. I've learned that over the years, because people are like, I can't do what you do, you know. I can't get it right. It could be like weather, it could be like how your setup is too. So that could be a lot of problems. The Aves is probably bad by now. The paints, could be still good. It all depends. You have to test them out. The compressor? Compressor would be fine. Compressor shouldn't be any problems with a compressor. But yeah, Aves I would say has a shelf life. Like, we'll go into my little thing here, see what it looks like. Yeah, if your Aves looks like a yellow piece of crap, it's bad. If it looks, if it looks fairly green and fresh, it's kind of good. But if it's got that yellow, nasty tint to it, and it's all crusty, then your B is bad, and then it's no good. I keep this around just to show people, but yeah, Aves, your B usually goes bad on you. Yeah, I mean, you got to test out the cleaning supplies, the brush, and all that stuff. You just got to test out the paints. I mean, I still have paints from art school in 1995 to 98 when I was in art school, and I still have paints in the tube that are still good. It all depends on, you know, did you open up the bottles? Did you store it correctly? Are the paints starting to separate? Are they not separating? You know, you just gotta see how they are. Well, if they're sitting on your desk, you gotta get your ass back to work and get them done. Yeah, I mean, even though they're sitting indoors, you still gotta check them. So just get in there and see if how they're looking, if they're working. Every spring, when I do my spring cleaning, I go through my paints and I usually throw out about a good 25 bottles. Because what happens is, you know, you mix up paints, you open them up, and if you don't use them, they either might dry up on you or they start to split, or half of it could cake up, the other half is water, so it all depends. Yeah, JC, I've done that plenty of times in my work in progress videos. I use metal rods and stuff called key stock, where I put a rod into the leg and I make a new key. I do it for arms, legs, everything. I don't have a specific video in mind, but a lot of them I do it in. What it is I've done so many videos that they get it kind of thrown into the down the line, but if you go into some of the playlists you might find it. Yeah, those Dremels from Harbor Freight Tools for someone like you is fine. I buy the Dremel tool itself from Home Depot, but I burn those suckers out like you wouldn't believe. I go through, I pretty much have to get a new one almost every other year. But yeah, the cheaper ones at Harbor Freight are great because you won't be doing this nearly as much as I do. But I mean, if you want a good Dremel though that you think you might use for stuff around the house, or you know, you really want a good quality item, I would get one of the Dremels from Home Depot, of course. But if you think you're just going to use it for the garage kit, like you know, a few times out of the year, then you don't need to go crazy. But I believe that if I'm going to buy a tool and it's something I'm going to use a lot, I'm going to buy a quality one. I don't like buying cheap ones that, you know... The Harbor Freight stuff is pretty good for, like, you know, guys like us in the hobby. You know, like sanders and stuff. But if you're going to use it for, like, house stuff and other stuff, then you might want to get something better. That's just how I look at it. I mean, I have one of those flat sanders that you hold and it sands, and I got that from Harbor Freight. It's a piece of crap, but it's great for doing bases, you know, and like flattening out bases. There's nothing wrong with it. But if I wanted to use it, say, for woodworking or something in the house, it's not that good. You know, but. But Harbor Freight's got a, you know, they got sandpaper. Their sandpaper's okay, but I mean, they have other tools. They have those packages of sanding tools as well, those metal file ones. They're cheap. Harbor Freight's great for, you know, hobby stuff. But if, you know, if you had a business where you're in construction and you're working on houses and stuff, I wouldn't buy anything from Harbor Freight for houses, you know. For faces, yeah, paintwork, some pastels, and I use the decals for eyes because I'm not good with eyes, and I'm not ashamed to say it. You know, if decals are gonna make me get better looking eyes, I'm gonna use them. I don't see no problem with it, but I know some guys in the hobby are like, oh, that's cheating, but I don't care. The way I look at it is if I like it and the client likes it, that's all that counts. Well, smaller statues are hard. You know, you want to get yourself like maybe super thin paintbrush tips and stuff. Bigger statues, if you want softer lips, you can use pastels. I did on this head right here, her lipstick. I did pastels on the lip, and then I sealed it with matte varnish, so it's softer lips than you know, painted lips. And pastels, I mean, you could go get like a thing of women's makeup at CVS or online and use that stuff. It's for the kid that you see on screen. It's the character Sugar Man. He's the bottom of the base. Just painting up the teeth now till I get my metallic paints for Colossus. And I can start painting Colossus next week and then finish the base. I just really like it's kind of fun painting teeth like this. When you just have the teeth itself and they're not in the statue. It's kind of fun to sit here and just kind of wash it and make it look all nasty looking. And it's just a matter of just keep building up washes, let it dry, building up washes, let the wash go into the crevices, and just kind of let it do its thing. And sometimes if you mess up, like say you got a tooth messed up, you can make like one tooth like really stained and brown. So at one point, if I feel that something got screwed up, I could just go and like really dirty up a tooth and make it look like it's a dead tooth. Trying not to do that, but if I have to, I can. So with something like this, I'll like let this dry now. This is the spot over here. I'll let this dry, and then when I put it into the teeth in at the end, I'll have to try to match the mouth that it goes into a little bit more. And then I might have to do some more layering of washes with like red. I'll worry about that later. At least I got some of it started now. I mean, I could go grab one of the bases and sort of show you. So this is the Sugarman base. You can see how that's his face. Oh, it's on the block. Let me blow dry this out a little bit first. So this connects into his mouth like so. So he's got a tongue sticking out, see? So it goes in the mouth like that. And then what I gotta do is, you gotta kinda push it in fairly well. And then I gotta kinda match up the mouth to like this and stuff. So it doesn't completely, unless this is the, sometimes you gotta be careful when you do two kits. Sometimes the parts are made for the other one just by accident, you know, you never know. See, so that one fits a little bit better. So when I'm ready to glue this in, I gotta make sure this was the one that goes into this one. And then these pieces go up here like so. Like that. So that's the Sugarman base. Unusual commission? I honestly have no clue. Can't really say. I look at them all as I get to do it what I love to do, so it doesn't really matter what it is. Unless it's kind of too out there. Like as of right now, I have no plans of like doing any kind of like nude type of or like any kind of that risque stuff per se yet. But if it ever came down to it where that's all I could get work for, I would. But for right now, just, I don't know, just doing this stuff. Alright, let me move these over somewhere. Get these out of the way. Let's see, I gotta organize. I got like 10,000 parts on the floor right now. So I'm gonna put the AC on for a little bit. Get a little warm in here. Where is my, here it is. I'm gonna add a little blue interference into the eyes See if it kind of like glows like that a bit. He's got white eyes, so he doesn't really have pupils. Gonna add a couple layers to it too. White's a pain in the ass to paint, so sometimes adding a couple layers will make it work. I didn't miss too much, Raz. Just painting away. Trying to make this look gritty. What I'll probably do is this trim here and this trim, I'll paint a separate color. Maybe like a darker red or something. I gotta talk to the client and see what he says. I was thinking of doing like maybe a dark red here, cause he's basically red and silver, and depending on who was drawing him, the one shirt that's torn is like yellow or an off-white. But if the client say they would want black, or if they want a darker red, we'll do something. But me personally, I would just do a darker red because he's supposed to be all red, but I would just kind of change it up. This is going to be like metallic pearl red because he has metallic like armor. So what I'm trying to do is for like the shoulder pads and knee pads are all going to be metallic or pearl armor, but any of the like underside of the padding is going to be like this red paint. I'll grab a shoulder pad and show you. So this is the shoulder pad, and as you can see, it's like a piece of metal almost. But this over in here is sort of like leather, like this stuff, you know? So what I might do is, I might actually make this like mahogany, just paint it straight up mahogany, and do like a lighter red, just to make this look like a leather red, and this like not the same as this. Just to try to break up all the reds. And then this right here will be the metallic red, and these are silver. And then I'll do like some weathering on it to make it look worn. So the same thing here, this right here is supposed to be metal. And then under here what I'll do is, this sort of looks metal too, but with the straps I'll do like the same leather as this on the straps. So I'll try to break it up a little bit more. You could be lazy and you could just paint everything red, and then him red, silver, and then be done with it, but I like to try to break it up as much as I can. But it always depends on the client too, you know. If they're like, well, you know what, I want it this way, then that's what they get. Never tell the client no. They get what if they want. If they want them pink, they get it pink. I don't care. But I'm trying to just make them a little bit gritty and worn a bit, instead of making it perfectly blended out like with airbrush. I figured this way it'll look a little bit more of the apocalypse type of outfit, kind of beat up a little bit, I guess. And then what I'll do is after I'm done doing the metal belt, I'll finish up the red around here, and I'll bring the red up around here as well. So the belt will be metal. It's just going to be easier to kind of mask it off and spray this metal, and then go over with the red and take it down again. So instead of sitting there trying to, you know, it's easier to get in there with the paintbrush and do it. Or, depending on what the client says, if I do this a dark red, I might bring this dark red up to here, and then I'll do this area dark red and then the belt metallic. So we might actually break it up even more. We'll see what he says. It all depends on how we, you know, where we take it. And like I said, one other thing too, since he's dirty and stuff, I'm not really worried about my hands. Because if there's any mess ups and stuff, that might actually help like make it messier. But we'll see. See how it works. Alright, that's what I'm calling it for the night. Got a good start on this. I'm pretty happy I got all this done. I gotta just send some pictures to the client now. Wait till he gets back to me, and then see if I'm like what these colors are gonna be. If these are gonna be red or if they're gonna be like yellow or an off-white. We gotta see what he wants on these. But alright guys, thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. I'll be back to streaming tomorrow night. We'll work on our Friday night stuff tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it a little bit later tomorrow night because I got to work on some of this tomorrow during the day. Alright, yeah, no problem, JC. Alright, you guys have a good night, alright?